say LFI, are you?
I'd like to just run around and get everyone's thoughts on the disavow. I'll throw mine in afterwards. But oddly enough, I've seen this a handful of times over the last month or so in various groups. And people are not only confused or frightened or whatever, but there's still a lot of confusion about the disavow. And I see things like, well, I just don't touch it because if I, do something wrong, it's going to be a mess. And I just don't touch it. And I find that just after all this time to be kind of fascinating, I guess. I just don't like people. I think the problem is that a lot of people are thinking that if they get it wrong and they put in some domain that wasn't a bad link, that somehow Google's going to ignore it and take away from their link. But that to me is, and again, I've talked to Matt and people in the past about this. That's like saying that Google's letting us control how they evaluate the link graph, and that's just not the case. You know what I mean? Like, if you put something in that disavow that's a legit link, believe me, Google's going to count it still and just ignore that. It's a directive. It's kind of like a robots.txt. It's not a hard, fast server rule like an htaccess or something. So,
yeah, I think anyways, that at the time that they released the disavow, that it's only a suggestion. They'll decide whether a link is good or bad.
I'm a little bit reminded of the depth of instructions and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that goes with those instructions. They're on the same level as perimeter handling, which is short for don't mess with this. I mean, how many people do you see actually use perimeters to determine whether or not Google indexes or crawls certain pages?
Well, yeah, it again, it's just that fear that somehow they're going to screw themselves with it. But that would intimate that you actually think that you have control over, Google's link graph. Apparently, even the black hats don't believe that, or they'd be hacking into sites or hacking into your Gmail or wherever and going and putting disavows on everyone's sites. It's not happening.
The default instruction is let Googlebot decide with perimeter handling,
right.
Which maybe is kind of questionable.
Which it is. Again, like, I'm not a fan of that. I tend to be a little anal with that section of Search Console and stuff. I do like to dig in there.
And I've seen canonical link that were clearly very wrong and poorly implemented, and hope that Google was ignoring them in some cases. Except for the last site I worked on, in which there were a bunch of spider traps. And I didn't want all the paginated pages indexed because it would have been way too many of them.
Yeah.
So I was in that case that Google decided not or to follow those canonicals, even though they were wrong.
I used to sit down and talk to Matt about it because I was doing forensic work, and and before it came out, I was like, there's got to be a way for me to come into a situation and say, all right, I'm the new guy on the job. Whoever the fuck was here before me, the mess of things, sorry, new guy here. And, Terry, you even remember when I showed you some emails from Matt, and Matt was like, something's coming on the way. And, me and Terry used to laugh because we're the ones who actually came out, if it wasn't for me and Terry, there would be no disavow. But, and then because Matt one day said something's coming, and then that came out. But again, it's just a way, like the words literally means, you're just disavowing past deeds. You're disavowing past things. Or, and that was before negative SEO was really as big a thing as it became. And you're really just saying, okay, this is an oops, this didn't, sorry about that. And, and I even talked to Matt to the point that I said, well, if I've got a client or if somebody I'm talking to wants to do this on a, monthly basis, look for crappy links and disavow them or whatever, should they ever get a manual action, would this help them? And he said, for sure, because it's showing diligence. It's showing that, you're paying attention to this, you give a shit, you're on that. And so when whoever the reviewer is on your manual action, when you do a reconsideration request and you mention this, they can look at that history for the last 18 months of you trying to really hard keep an eye on that shit. So I still think it's something to do, and I just see too many people that are actually literally in these groups on Facebook going, "I just won't touch it. I'm not going to do it. Now I might screw it up, and it could totally go wrong." But that's making the assumption that you actually can control Google's link graph, which you're not gonna.
I mean,
like Google's not gonna let a bunch of SEOs and webmasters control their link graph. Come on.
You know what that thing is actually used for, and I can tell you a business use case. Okay. Hi, Steve. This is Melissa, your boss. I'm in a meeting with the CEO of Walmart right now, and he wants to know why when we put in email Walmart, Walmart.com doesn't come up and the corporate site comes up. Well, remember a long time ago, we used to have the big ORM issue 10 years ago before we did the process. So the thing that happened was corporate.walmart.com was what I got to do SEO on for all the social issues. So when there was a China issue, we developed a China section on corporate.walmart.com. And so we would, then that's how you did negative SEO. That's how you push down bad news, is you created content. And so corporate.walmart.com ended up outranking walmart.com for a while. So he said, we want email Walmart. We want walmart.com to come up. I can't. Okay. So what I did is, since I was webmaster of corporate.walmart.com, I took the exact page that was number one above walmart.com for email Walmart, and I went into Disavow tool. I pushed it in there. I pushed the button, and I said, "Sir, please hit refresh." And my boss loved me, because at that point he goes, "That's exactly what I want. Thank you, sir." And so what it did is it took that corporate.walmart.com site out of number one. The dude hit refresh and walmart.com was number one, exactly what he wanted. And I did it in like 9 seconds on the phone for the dude. That's what the Disavow tool is useful for. Understand?
But don't you think that people overuse that? I mean, was that in the past? No, I'm not at your level, so please don't,
No. And honestly, you've taken the initiative to be on this call, so give yourself some props.
Thank you.
Okay? Because there's 100,000 people out there doing SEO, and they don't realize that the dude who actually wrote the copyright for the meta tag is sitting here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the whole point. You're here. So the question, go ahead, ask your question again.
Yeah, don't you think that can be flawed, because it's there, and it's kind of like growth hacking. I think that people that are pros sometimes have too much going on in their head, that when somebody who doesn't know shit comes on board, they're like, well, why can't you just do it this way? Yeah, holy shit, why didn't I think of that? You get me? I'm not saying that that's what you're talking about, the situation, but can't it's like marketing. The minute marketers find out about something, they ruin it for everybody. And so the Disavow, don't you think that if too many people know how to do what you just did, the 9-second thing, and it's up there, everybody would be doing it. So does it work now, or did it work
No. Here's the point. I had my email address registered as the admin for the Google Webmaster account for Walmart.com and corporate.walmart.com. So I technically was the owner of the website, corporate.walmart.com, because it's a subdomain name, and you have to register it separately. All right. Now I'm gonna help you out a little bit here. If in a day and age we have subdomain.domain, and we've got HTTPS, so you've got a www version that's not secure, you've got a www version that is secure. Take off the www, you got just domain.com, and you got the secure version, right? Hang on. Now, if you've got a subdomain, you now got to do the HTTPS and the non-HTTPS of those, and you have to set up 6 different Google Webmaster Tools accounts, one for each separate domain name, being SSL or not. Now, Google at some point will merge that, but right now, that's the way it does it. And so normally when you put an HTTPS up there, you say this is the default you want in Google Webmaster Tools, and now all your analytics and crap goes into that one account, and there's nothing in the other 6 anymore. Make sense? So because I'm the owner of that corporate.walmart.com, I'm God to Google. So I could remove that. There's no way you could get access, and you can't remove things from my website from Google. Okay. So there's 2 different uses for the tool. One is me to manage what my web presence is in Google as the owner of a website. That's what Webmaster Tools is for. Feel me? Okay. The other one is disavow links. Okay. So there's the Disavow tool, which is I'm the owner of corporate.walmart.com. Take it out. I want this particular URL removed. I go into Webmaster Tools. I push a button. It takes it out of search because I'm the registered owner.
Owner of both of those properties regardless. Right.